There's a text still sitting in your drafts. Not sent, not deleted, just waiting, the way you've let it wait for months. Something between you two broke a while back, and you both kept moving like it hadn't. You may feel the weight of that silence more than usual this week, and there's a reason for it. By August 15, the window on this particular kind of waiting closes. Before it does, I'm naming 4 signs whose next move actually matters right now. Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio. There's a consequence still hanging over you from something you never fully said out loud. This eclipse in Leo might be the reason it surfaces again this week. Stay, because I'm going to resolve it before this video ends. Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio. These are the 4 charts this event presses on hardest today. Here's the fact underneath all of it. A total solar eclipse is happening in Leo at 20 degrees 03, with the sun there on August 12. The moon sits close by at 20 degrees 07 Leo the same day. The exact moment is 17:45 UTC. This isn't an isolated point in time. It sits inside a window that opened August 9 and closes August 15, 6 days in total. That window is open today. What does a solar eclipse in Leo actually do? In the traditional reading, an eclipse doesn't whisper, it interrupts. It lands on whatever you've been avoiding and forces a decision where you'd rather keep drifting. Leo rules identity, self-expression, the story you tell about who you are. When an eclipse sits this precisely in Leo, astrologers have long read it as a moment when something hidden about you, not about them, finally has to be looked at. For the 6 flagged signs this year, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, Aries, Sagittarius, the pressure is sharper. But today we're going deep on 4. Leo, whose money and material security get touched. Aquarius, whose closest commitments are tested. Taurus, whose home and roots shift underfoot. And Scorpio, who also finds money and security at the center of it. Each of these houses is the traditional reading for that rising sign. The actual house that lights up in your own chart depends on your birth details. But this is the pattern the sky is drawing today. In traditional astrology, a solar eclipse marks a reset point, not just a transit. It closes one chapter and opens another, whether you're ready or not. The Leo placement specifically touches themes of visibility, creative output, and the courage to be seen as you actually are, rather than as you've been performing. You might notice this week that the gap between who you say you are and who you've become feels wider than it used to. That noticing isn't random, it's the eclipse doing what eclipses do, making the hidden visible. The window matters because eclipses don't work on your timeline. August 9 to August 15 to 6 days. After that, the energy doesn't disappear, but the opening does. You may find that decisions made inside this window land differently than the same decision would a month from now. Cleaner, more final, less room for backtracking. You already know the account balance without opening the app. That number has been sitting in the back of your mind, and you keep almost checking it and then not. For Leo rising, this eclipse activates the first house, the house of self, body, how you show up in the world. But the emotional weight of Leo season always lands on resources. 2. What you're worth, what you charge, what you keep for yourself. Here's what's actually happening underneath the numbers. You've been performing confidence about money while quietly panicking about it in private. The eclipse doesn't create that gap, it just makes it too loud to keep ignoring. You might notice yourself avoiding a specific conversation about a shared expense, a raise you haven't asked for, or a debt you haven't named out loud. Do this before August 15. Open the account, write down the real number, and say it to one person who needs to hear it. A partner, a business contact, yourself in a note you don't delete. Not a plan, not a spreadsheet. The number, said plainly, once. If you skip this, nothing may break dramatically right away. That's the trap. The silence just calcifies. 6 months from now, you could still be performing ease while your real position gets shakier, and the moment when saying it would have been easy is gone. First house eclipses in traditional readings often mark a physical or visible shift, a change in how others perceive you or how you carry yourself in public. You might catch yourself dressing differently this week or hesitating before introducing yourself the old way. The version of you that fit last year may not fit the person you're becoming, and the eclipse is simply making that misalignment impossible to ignore. Here's the tension worth sitting with. An eclipse in Leo reads, in traditional astrology, as pressure and disruption. Yet Leo itself is ruled by confidence, by the sun at home. So which is it, a rupture or a homecoming? Stay with me, because the answer changes what you do next, and it comes before this video ends. Ask yourself this: when did you last say what you actually wanted from the person you're closest to? For Aquarius rising, this eclipse falls in the 7th house: partnership, commitment, the people you're bound to by agreement, spoken or not. That house doesn't ask about romance in the abstract. It asks about the specific arrangement you're living inside right now and whether it still matches what you need. Most Aquarius charts I've watched through an eclipse like this one aren't facing a breakup. They're facing a mismatch that's been quietly tolerated, different needs around commitment, different timelines, one person waiting for the other to bring it up first. You might find yourself replaying a conversation you didn't finish, or noticing you've stopped asking for what you actually want because it's easier not to. The action here is specific. Name one need out loud to the person it concerns before the window closes on August 15. Not the whole relationship audit one need. I want us to talk about where this is going. I need to know if you're staying. Say the sentence you've rehearsed only in your head. If you don't, the arrangement may not end. It just quietly locks into place as the default, the thing neither of you chose but both of you accepted. 7th house eclipses in the traditional framework often bring a partner's hidden need or unspoken expectation to the surface. You could notice this week that the other person seems more distant or more present than usual, and neither shift is random. They might be feeling the same pressure you are, waiting for you to go first. The eclipse doesn't pick sides, it just stops letting both of you wait. Right now, this window is open. It closes on August 15 to 3 days from today. Whatever you've been meaning to say or do about this, the sky isn't waiting for you to feel ready. The apartment feels different lately, even though nothing's technically changed. For Taurus rising, this eclipse activates the 4th house, home, family, the literal roots of where and how you live. Traditionally, a 4th house eclipse doesn't just mean moving house, it means the emotional foundation under your daily life is up for renegotiation. You might notice a living situation you've outgrown pressing on you more this week. Maybe it's a family pattern, a parent's expectation, a sibling's old role for you, and the 4th house governs home and roots, but when that foundation shifts, it sometimes touches how you carry yourself too. You could catch yourself standing in a room you've lived in for years and feeling like a guest in it. Here's the concrete move. Pick one physical or emotional boundary in your home life and set it before August 15. That could be an actual conversation with family about space, money, or involvement. It could be rearranging a room that stopped feeling like yours. Do the thing with your hands, not just in your head. Left alone, this may not resolve, it repeats. The same argument at the next holiday, the same resentment about whose house, whose rules, whose version of home wins. 4th house eclipses in traditional readings often coincide with literal moves, a lease ending, a sale going through, a return to a place you left years ago. You might notice this week that a housing decision you thought was months away suddenly feels immediate. Or you could find yourself scrolling listings for a place you're not even sure you want, just to see what else is possible. You've been telling yourself the money thing is under control. For Scorpio rising, this eclipse lands in the 10th house, career, public standing, and yes, the material security tied to your position in the world. What happens to it after August 15 might depend entirely on what you do in the next few days. Here's exactly how that plays out both ways. If you act before the window closes, the message gets sent, the number gets said, the boundary gets drawn, you might feel a specific kind of relief, not euphoria, just the quiet of a thing finally being true instead of hidden. The relationship, the job, the home situation may not transform overnight, but the false version of it, the one you were both performing, starts to fall away. You could find the next few months easier simply because you're not carrying an unspoken thing anymore. The person you sent the message to might respond immediately, or they might take days, but the waiting feels different when you've already said the true thing. You may notice that other decisions start moving faster too, not because the eclipse touched them directly, but because you stopped using silence as a strategy. In traditional astrology, eclipse actions tend to cascade. One honest move creates permission for the next. You could find yourself having conversations in September that you couldn't even imagine having in July, simply because you broke the pattern of waiting in August. If you let the window close without acting, the outcome is quieter, but heavier. Nothing may break dramatically. That's precisely the danger. You might notice the same silence settling back into place, a little more permanent each time you don't disturb it. The conversation that was hard today could become the conversation you simply stop imagining having at all 6 months from now. That's not punishment from the sky. It's just what unattended things do. They don't explode, they calcify. The draft might stay in your phone for another year, and every time you see it, you'll remember this window and the fact that you let it close. The job you're tolerating might become the job you're stuck in, not because you can't leave, but because the moment when leaving felt possible has passed. The relationship might continue, but the version of it where you both told the truth becomes the version you only imagine in private, never the one you actually live. Timing is written in the sky, but the sending of the message is written by you. The cosmos guides our paths, it doesn't walk them for you. Energy flows like water toward whatever channel you actually open, not the one you keep meaning to. Whatever's been sitting unfinished, you know what it is. This eclipse doesn't force your hand, it just shows you the deadline you'd already set for yourself. Tell me in the comments, what's the one thing you're finally sending before the window closes? As the moon reflects the sun, may your spirit shine brightly in the universe's embrace.